Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Southbridge Street Live. I'm super excited because I actually am interviewing my friend Bridgette Postel, and we are talking about VAMA, but also, I don't know if you guys know her, she works for the Bureau. She also works for the Bureau, we should say. So you are at Victoria Convention and Visitors Bureau, and then you are the spokesperson and a board member for VAMA, and we're here to talk about VAMA, Victoria Area Music Association.
That's us.
So cool. All right, so listen, I know like this is like, it's crazy, it's live, but can we talk about your model and an actress and... You're like all over. We were talking earlier, right? We're going to start calling you Sister Bridgette to match Brother Gary.
Brother Gary tells me that when we run into each other.
Aw, Sister
and what
Bridgette.
a blessing it is that we get to do what we do, and it truly is.
Yes.
It truly is.
Yeah.
But yeah, in February, I was invited to be a model as a survivor of a heart attack. Yes, in December of 2017, I went through the Citizens Medical Center cardiac rehab. And so they select some of us to be the models in their fundraiser, Go Red for Women's Heart.
Yes, I love that.
And it was
Stacey
so,
K. Yeah.
Yes, Stacey. Yeah. It was so exciting and so much fun and so absolutely nerve-wracking.
Wow.
We wore two outfits. First was casual, and the second was a formal.
Ooh.
And we get them from local shops that loan them to us. And that first one, the casual, I thought I was going to pass out.
Why? Tell me.
Oh, I was so nervous. And nobody wanted to go first. I'm like, oh, I want to go first. I want to get it over with. They lined us up. I was last. It was awful. I was just wrecked. I go out there, I do it, I come back, and then the second time, I own that stage. I was so comfortable.
Ow!
I so enjoyed it. What an extraordinary experience. And then I've been invited by a local writer, director, producer of short films to be in one of his films. It's
So
like,
that's it. So modeling and acting
model
is
slash
on
actress.
your
And
resume.
I work for the Bureau.
And she works for the Bureau. What is that like, the Convention and Visitors Bureau? What is that? I mean, you know, because that's such a cool organization.
It is absolutely the most fun. And to get paid for it is extraordinary to me.
Yeah, and I want to say too, like, let me just say, Bridgette and I are friends, and so she really genuinely means she loves her job. Like, it's not for camera, you know, pretty. It's the real deal. And it is really, really interesting.
Very much. I'm literally the face and the voice of Victoria when visitors call or come into the office, and we get them from all over the world.
Yes.
People are always so amazed by that. You know, from Australia and Germany and Russia and Yugoslavia. They want to come to Texas.
To Victoria to see?
History.
Yeah.
It's history that draws everyone here. We have a lot of the winter Texans, you know, that come down, especially from Canada and the northern states. And I repeatedly hear, I've always driven through here, I've always passed by Victoria, but I've never stopped. Yeah. And now they do, and they're just fascinated. They're scheduling more hotel nights because there's that much to see and do. Yes. It's wonderful.
Does it drive you crazy when people, like in passing, will say, there's nothing to do in Victoria?
Well, that's usually the locals that are saying that.
Yeah, don't you think that's incredible?
But and though I work for the Victoria Convention and Visitors Bureau, our brand is Explore Victoria. Right. So feel free, even visitors, come to the office, 700 Main Street, Suite 101.
Yeah.
Am I
something
101?
like that. Yeah.
And find out what there is to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we've got a website with a calendar of events. Yeah. I do a weekly This Week in Music, which is a wonderful segue into VAMA.
Let's talk it. Yeah, let's talk about. She's like, and that's a segue into VAMA. There we go. All right, so let's talk music.
Yeah.
Because I think that one of the most extraordinary things about our city is our music scene. So what inspired you guys to put VAMA together?
This was a brainchild of Josh Burris, who is our president of VAMA, and also the bass player and manager of The Heart Attacks.
Cool.
Right?
Awesome.
And about a year ago in February, he started scouting some people and just randomly going, hey, let's start a Victoria Area Music Association. Would you consider being on the board? And I remember so vividly getting that Facebook message, and I'm talking to him live on Messenger, and I'm like, how do I do this? Is that me? I don't even play an instrument.
That was going to be one of my
questions.
questions.
But I don't. Yeah. I barely play the radio. So, and I thought, I have to.
Yes.
It's an extraordinary opportunity for me, and he saw already in me my passion for music in Victoria and being at, so many places where music's, being created.
Is music a part of your life? Like, are you?
It truly has been growing up. Yeah. I'm the 8th out of 9 children, so there's 7 of them that are way older than me. Well, 6, but it was music in our house all the time. And ironically, none of us play an instrument.
Really?
But
Yeah.
we have extraordinary vinyl record collections from the 50s and 60s. And this is what we constantly grew up with. If you've ever seen the meme on Facebook about, like in a Mexican house, when you wake up on Saturday morning and the music blaring, we're cleaning. It's true. I'm sorry, it's true. I grew up like that. Saturday morning, the windows and doors are open, and they're blaring some great blues and country and Texas rock my brothers would play. And so it's like always music going on.
Is that why you were chosen to be on the board?
I believe, yeah. Josh saw me everywhere in lots of places, and because it's an eclectic group. We're not all musicians. Our treasurer is not a musician.
Right.
Of course, our VP is.
Right.
Vice President Jerry James.
Yes.
Yeah, the troubadour of Victoria.
That's right. That's right. I love that. So tell me a little bit about, what does VAMA do? The mission of VAMA. How can community members get involved? What is your let's start with the mission. What does VAMA want to accomplish in Victoria?
The mission specifically is to promote, preserve, and educate music in the area. That's why it's Victoria area music. We're not confined to just our county.
Right.
We stretch out a ways, and we promote it through our Facebook page, especially. All the music is listed every week, where to play, but it's Edna, and it's in Kennedy, and if there's music going on, and we do DJs and karaoke's, because it's all music. It's not necessarily just live.
Right.
It is not just musicians. And one of the best ways, of course, to support us is to be a member.
Right. So what does it take to be a member of VAMA?
It's really, really simple. You go to the Facebook page and you sign up, and there's a PayPal that you can use to join up. And
This is VAMA, keeping the crossroads in tune.
Is that the
That's
coolest?
awesome. Yeah.
I give credit to Danny Vivian, one of our board members, photographer. He did come up with that
the
one. We're going to
tagline?
keep it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is great.
Cool.
So memberships, you can be a fan member for $15 a year. There's a musician membership, which is only $35, and then a business membership, which can be bands and or venues like Tease Music. They have the membership.
I see. Yeah.
Hartman Distributing was one of the first ones to come on board. You know how awesome the Hartmans are in this community.
They are amazing.
Yeah. So, and we've got these pamphlets. That's a pamphlet, and this is our rack card. And they're
I love
out
this.
and about
I want
in town.
you for VAMA Army. That's awesome. Who's this a picture of?
That is Josh.
Oh yeah, it is Josh. Hello.
He did it so well, though.
That was awesome.
That's Uncle Josh,
super
we'll
cool.
say.
Oh, that's so neat.
Yeah.
This
And
is
supporting
awesome.
it also by coming out to the events.
Right.
And not just VAMA, but live music everywhere. Any kind of music that's being created. Go show some love, some support. Always clap. Always acknowledge them. Tip.
Because we have some
Throw
great
some tip
bands,
jars in there. And that's another extraordinary thing about the music in Victoria is most all the venues, every one of them practically, no cover charge.
Right.
Try to pull that off in Austin,
Right.
You'll see some great music, but you'll see great music here too. And you didn't pay a cover, and you didn't have to pay for parking, so show some love to the venue, to the bands, and tip.
And tip.
Tip.
Yes.
Tip the bands. Yeah, if you dig the tunes, drop a buck or two.
I love that. That's super cool. So tell me about, because I know that you have a sort of a set schedule where you've got blues one night, you've got rock.
We do have a couple of open mics that have been established for almost, the rock and blues is going on a year, and the Boots and Brews country music open mic, those are a bunch of fun. That one's probably about 8 months old. But either way, third Tuesday every month.
Okay.
Which is today.
Hey.
Ironically,
It's
we're
today,
having the
yes.
Rock and Blues at the Forum Club, 1901 East Red River. and it starts about 6:30. You sign up. You come in as a musician if you like. And there's a sign-up sheet. Tell us what you're going to play. Do you need a band to back you up? Are you bringing your own instrument? And VAMA now, we proudly have our back line. We have drums. We have several guitars. We got the amps, the soundboard. It's just, we got the whole setup. So for a lot of musicians, it can just be plug and play.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is. That was an extraordinary thing that we've been able to do. And
I did not know that.
yeah, it's like a plug and play.
Cool.
Now, the fourth Tuesday of every month is at Aerocrafter, and that's the Boots and Brews Country Open Mic. And Aerocrafter, of course, is family friendly and pet friendly until 10 o'clock.
Right.
So we get a wonderful different mix of people.
Yes, it is
we've
very
had
cool there.
we've had some kids as young as 9 years old come up and sing and play guitar.
Oh my gosh,
It is.
I love that.
It's extraordinary,
Yes.
and the family's always there to support, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's been a lot of fun, very successful, and we're going to keep it going.
So open mic, and if you are a musician and you just want the opportunity to play,
Yeah.
they would just call you and say, we would like to
You can actually just show up.
just show
Yeah,
up. Cool.
because
all right, that's good to
yeah,
know. Just show up.
if you've got the time, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're inclined, just show up. And we got the sign-in sheet there near the stage, and
the
we'll call you
instruments
up
there
in
if you
order.
need 'em.
Yeah, if you don't have a guitar or you want to play drums, and the blues tonight has just grown into something absolutely magical.
Yes. You were
These
talking about
musicians don't normally play with each other, and they don't normally get to see each other because of their schedules,
Right,
you know,
right,
the way
right.
they play. And so there's been meetings and friendships, collaborations, there's been bands spawned because somebody all of a sudden needs a bass player, and they met
Right.
one that night at the blues night.
So things are forged at VAMA too. Like,
It's
yeah,
awesome.
music is forged.
And just the impromptu getting up there and playing of different songs, and it's extraordinary and magical. Love
Yes.
it. Love
All
it.
right, so let me ask you this: if you could play an instrument, what
Piano.
would you play? Piano. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually taken lessons twice in my life. And oh my gosh, I worked hours on Red River Valley. It's like it's not me. Some people are born with it. Some people can work into it. And I was just like, no.
That was kind of our rule at the house, was that if you wanted to play an instrument, I would completely and totally support you playing an instrument. But you really needed to, I wanted everyone to start with piano. Because I just felt like it teaches like the fundamentals of music. And yeah, so, and if you could get through the piano recitals and you could do the homework or whatever, then
Right.
the world was your oyster. So,
Which
yeah.
truly is a discipline.
Yeah, I've got a bass guitar player and a ukulele player.
A uke.
Yeah.
That is something we have brewing, is a uke match up.
Do
Where
you
people
really?
just will get together one day a month or whatever. And we're working those details out. That's
Oh,
future
cool.
things that VAMA is working with. And that would be specifically a ukulele circle.
Oh my gosh. She
Yeah.
would love that. Although she's the shyest. So
You know, so many musicians really are. I know the public finds that hard to believe, but in my dealing with them just as a fan and now as VAMA, when you
Right.
meet them one-on-one, they are very, very shy, most
Right.
of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Feet to the fire questions. You're stranded on a desert island and you can only hear one song every time that you ever wanted a song.
One
And
song.
it has to be the same
Can I have the
song.
whole album?
You can have a whole album.
I can have a
Yes.
whole album?
Yes,
Okay.
you can have a
That's
whole
real
album.
easy. This is the soundtrack of my childhood. It's when I heard
me.
Saturday morning when I knew we were cleaning. And that would be a record actually entitled Texas Tornado before the band was created in the 90s.
Wow.
This album, I think, may have come out in the 60s, late 70s, early 70s. And it was the Sir Douglas Quintet. Texas Tornado is the album.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Look it up. It's
Texas
phenomenal.
Tornado. Oh, that's
yeah,
so cool.
by the Sir Douglas Quintet.
Oh.
Over and over and over.
Over and over and over.
And my daughter has grown to love that band because we all grew up with them. We still listen to all their stuff. She admitted not so long ago that when she was about 12, she figured out Doug Somm was not her uncle. She really thought he was part of our family. The way we talk about him and the way we would listen to him in our stories.
We have that too. We have Phil Collins. I had my oldest son was convinced that Phil Collins was his uncle. I loved it. I didn't even, that and the fact that Shasta, for whatever reason, was like the worst bad word you could ever, those were the two things that we tricked him well. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, but okay, so tell me about this vinyl, because I've got vinyl too.
Oh, my brother's collections, two of my brothers have enormous collections. I wouldn't even begin to know the value of it, but it's easily over 300.
Right.
100 records, easily.
Yeah.
Wow.
At one point in time, we had that too.
Do you still have a turntable?
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Oh yeah. I mean, a modern turntable, but I love them. And it kills me to think about not when I was a kid in the 45s and not keeping them. And I had Michael Jackson Thriller. And do you remember what the first vinyl was that you ever got?
Oh my gosh, I do.
Okay.
It took every fiber of my being, the courage to ask my mother as we're walking through a department store, I don't even know which one. I had to have Freddie Fender's Before the Next Teardrop Falls.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, and she said yes. Were you surprised?
Well, finally. Oh,
Yes.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't get anything when you went to a store. Don't ask. Don't embarrass me. And she did. She let me buy Freddie Fender's Before the Next Teardrop Falls. And I do eventually see him and meet him a couple of times in my life. So.
Really? Did you tell him the story?
Oh, God, yes. He thought it was hilarious.
That's awesome.
This is my first rock and roll record, I tell people.
Okay, so what other artists have you met?
Al Stewart. Is anybody old enough to remember Al Stewart? His hits were in the 70s. Time Passages, Year of the Cat. That was his big hit. And I went to see him at the Back Room in Austin a couple of decades ago. And my friend made googly eyes at the guitar player. And all of a sudden, we're backstage with Al Stewart. That was kind of cool.
So it's googly
And
eyes.
met Doug Somm a few times.
Googly eyes works every time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did.
That's
for
so
her.
awesome. Who would you, if you could embody a musician, male or female, anyone in existence, like anyone alive or have passed, who would you be for a day and why?
Man, that's a tough one. Maybe Etta James. But when you ask the question, knee-jerk reaction was Big Mama Thornton.
Really?
She's just this fabulous blues singer, guitar player. And when I found out she did Hound Dog before Elvis, I mean, I was like, what?
Yes. Yeah.
Who knew it existed for my generation?
Right.
Who knew that existed before Elvis? So I'm a huge fan of hers.
What about modern
Big Mama
music?
Thornton.
Where do you think is going? Because I want you to know, yesterday, just on a whim, I was like, Google play the #1 hit right now in the country, and it was awful. And then I was like, #2, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, huh. And not when I say awful, I'm like, it's just not my music is changing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's changing. Or maybe I'm just getting older. But I was like, what do you think about modern music?
It works for every generation.
Right.
There were people in the 30s that thought, or in the 30s and 40s thought, what's his name? Glenn Miller was the devil, and the
Elvis
kids were
was
listening.
the devil.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yes.
it's got its purpose and it serves its demographics.
But I'm saying, do you
It's good.
who's your I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. Who's your your favorite modern band?
Dope. Modern band.
Modern.
Gosh, that is feet to the fire question
Feet to fire.
now. Modern band. I don't know many band names. I know songs. You got me stumped.
But you're still old school.
Yeah, pretty old school. And with Spotify, it's so easy to stay old school.
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
just get the
Amen,
radios.
sister. Yeah. Well, in our house, we had ABBA playing and Carole King, and my mom was a single mom, and she had, it was all Donna Summer. I mean, Linda Ronstadt. It was just tons and tons of vinyl, and they're all female. I mean, just
good.
I mean, ABBA, but you know what I mean, though.
Right,
right. Those were my, Carole King is I have Tapestry. I've probably bought Tapestry, I'd say 4 or 5 times in my life.
Wearing them out.
Wearing them out. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I understand that.
So anyway, that's it. That's all. We're done. No, I'm just teasing. So what do you want the community to know about VAMA? What is something that you feel like is really important for them to get?
We are especially open to all people, not just musicians.
Right.
Our open mic nights, especially, you don't even have to be a VAMA member. We are not member driven to the point where we're only going to help our members.
I gotcha.
Okay, we
Cool.
do
Thank you for
music.
clarifying. Yes.
We do everyone out there creating music. We do our best to support and promote that kind of stuff. Memberships are so quick and easy online. Visit the Facebook, which is Victoria Area Music Association, and it's got links to our website that get you to the membership and the different things that come with the different levels of membership. In terms of education, we are working with, we're going to be part of Maker Fest with Victoria Public
Library.
Library.
The library.
Yep.
That's super cool.
We're gonna be outdoors because we have instruments. We're gonna be a little loud.
I love it.
And it's gonna be, well, we're working on something like a petting zoo type thing, but with instruments. And we've got our back line, so we'll have that all set up.
Oh, super
But we're
cool.
gonna have musicians available that actually play those instruments. So we could teach a kid
So
a beat
kids
or a
can-
chord or something if
Sure,
they're
that they
inclined.
can learn.
Or just let them come and bang on the drums all day if that's what they want to do.
I love
It
that.
is. It's great, great fun. And in the future, we're looking at band camp. We're looking at, especially a music festival. That would be a fundraiser for us because we do, I mean, we're nonprofit. We're 501c.
Right.
We need the funds. We need that kind of help.
Oh, please keep me up to date on a festival.
Yeah,
I think that would be amazing.
It is. It will be. It will be. Just finding a slot in the year where there isn't a whole lot going on.
Right,
Not so
exactly.
easy in Victoria.
No, it's not.
We're a very
because
busy
there's
place.
always something happening in Victoria.
Always.
There's always something to do in
Always.
Victoria.
I'd say
I love
so.
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. Well, I am super, super glad that VAMA is in existence and it's moving, music throughout the community, as it should. I mean, we really, really, really need to be better about supporting
Like
the
you
musicians.
said, there is an extraordinary music scene in Victoria
It's a phenomenal
that
music scene.
has kind of created VAMA from that.
Right.
Because there is so much to see and do and then to promote and to just bring it to another level with festivals and artists. Oh, we're looking also
Good for it.
to
Come on.
create
Give it to me.
a singer-songwriter listening room. Yeah, somewhere quaint and mellow where the artist can
Oh my
actually
gosh.
feature his music and talk about his songwriting and processes and stuff, influences, whatever. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yep.
Wow. And you keep all of that on your
Yeah, as things
your
develop,
page.
you'll see
Okay,
everything
cool.
on the Facebook page,
That is it.
Instagram, and especially the website.
Cool.
Especially the
Awesome.
website.
Well, keep us up to date, like I said. And then when
Promise
you
I
guys get
will.
ready to do all this, come back on. Please come and be a guest. You can
I
you
will.
can come and be on here anytime you want. We
Well,
can
I-
talk about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I will come back. There are a few more irons in my fire that I would love to
I
share
bet
with
there
the
is,
world.
Sister
Yeah.
Bridgette. I bet there is.
Sister Bridgette.
Well,
you're
thank
hilarious.
you so much, Bridgette, for coming out. And you guys tonight, the Victoria Area Music Association is featuring blues.
Rock and blues.
Rock and blues.
At the forum.
Right, at the forum. All right. What
About
time?
6 to 9.
6
Yeah.
to 9. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's check
And come
it out.
hungry tonight. We have best of the best caterer Mike Posey is
Oh,
putting
super
he's putting down some
cool.
jambalaya for us.
Oh, really?
How fun
oh
is
my gosh, I
that?
haven't seen him like in weeks.
Well, come
That's
surprise
awesome.
him.
All
Come
right,
by
so
there.
good. All
That'd
right,
be
guys,
cool.
come hungry. Come hungry and come be ready to listen to some amazing rock and blues.
Yep, it's
All right.
magical.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you guys so much for watching South Bridge Street Live.